Hello everyone, welcome back. So you can see I'm playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, and today I'm going to be going through the Acorn Cup, which is the second to last in the DLC, actually. It's kind of crazy. We've come so far. Let's see, who... These guys are apes. Well, he's a monkey, and then Donkey Kong's an ape. I mean, of them, they seem the most likely for acorns. You know what, I'm going to do Funky. Funky looks cool. Alright, now let's see... What should I give him? That kind of works. I don't know how it works, but it seems right. Scrolling through the options, that seems like the one to go with. Alright, now let's see. Let's get something that kind of matches. Not really. Nah. You know what? Yeah, that one works. It's wood. And let's just give him... Yeah, I guess the flying squirrel. It matches color-wise, but really not much else. Alright, so here we go. We got Rome Avanti from Tor. We've got DK Mountain from the GameCube. Then we have Daisy Circuit from the Wii. And then followed up by Piranha Plant Cove, which is a new original track. So let's just jump right into it. Yeah, these are actually... What they've done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is pretty insane. I've mentioned it in most of my videos for it, but... Just the fact that they had, I mean, so many tracks in the initial launch, and then literally they doubled it. Like, I think it was, what, 36? Because it was 6, 4, Yeah, so it was 48 tracks in the original game. And then they were just like, you know what, we'll just give you 48 more. It's pretty wild, honestly. I've never seen a company just do that. Because they came off of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with basically every map and then every character, and they were just like, you know what, let's just do that with Mario Kart 2. Like, I don't think they have exactly 100% of everything, but I mean, at this point it's pretty damn close. They've got most of them. Drifting around. Yeah, I usually try to mix it up to show off the new characters when the new tracks come out, because they usually release like almost as many characters as Grand Prix, but the one thing that throws me off is having a new character and a new kart and new wheels and all that. Pretty much everything combined, is it changes the speed and weight and all that good stuff that, you know, you get muscle memory for playing Luigi in the tri-kart every single time. Oh wow, that would have been a funny random one. I didn't even see that person coming. Oh shit, now it might be a problem for me. Oh my god, just break already. Yeah, that was a little bit scary. I love his little, like, jump up and surf animation there. He does the hang 10. But yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild indeed. Just how much is in this game now. I mean, if you like Mario Kart, this is about as good as it's ever going to get, probably. Same thing with, like, Smash Bros. Ultimate. Where it's like, I don't see them going and doing, like, alright, the next one's gonna have every character and new ones. Like, I'm sure from this point on, Smash Brothers is probably gonna have, probably still a fairly big roster, but definitely not, like, every fighter ever made in the Smash Brothers universe. Probably not gonna happen if I were to guess. Oh, man, I missed the drift there. Yeah, see, that's the thing with the weight in the cart and the wheels. Oh my god, yeah, just hit it with it. Oh, thank god. I was immune from the last one. Yeah, just, like, even for things that are, like, centimeters off, you just get so much muscle memory playing the same carts. Whee! Fly up there. Ooh. Nope, nope, nope. Alright. We're off to a good start. Yeah, as you could see in my previous videos, I don't always win these. So I run at it raw. I don't do repeats. I don't replay the tracks. I just, whatever happens, happens. So we'll see. We'll see how this ends. Alright, now we're moving on to DK Mountain. I know it's for the GameCube, but to be honest, I have no idea why it says GCN. Unless it's for, like, GameCube Nintendo, but that just doesn't... You'd think it'd be the opposite. You'd think it'd be Nintendo GameCube. That'd be like calling it the 64 Nintendo. It's like, it seems wrong. Maybe there's a reason for it to be that kind of acronym, but I just don't understand why. Ooh. Now this would be the ironic one to lose on. Playing as Funky himself. Whee! Yeah, I've also mentioned too, but these games, specifically the ones that Nintendo front runs, they look insane. Especially considering, like, at this point, like, when did the Switch come out? Like 8, 9 years ago? And the thing is pretty damn thin. It's like practically the size of a portable console. And it's just like, it's able to put out 60 FPS, just beautiful visuals like this one right here. That's what's always good when they know... Ooh, yeah, I thought you got me. When they know, like, what to sacrifice and what not to. They're pretty much wizards when it comes to game design. Like, I frankly don't know how they do it. The optimization from Nintendo is insane. And then not to mention, when they actually make a game, it's not 70 gigabytes up to, like, I think Destiny 2 right now on my Xbox is 140 gigabytes. Meanwhile, Nintendo makes a game that looks like this, and it's like 5. I think it's like 5 or 6 gigabytes. It's just insane madness even. And that's pretty much the story for almost all of the games. Like, only the third-party ones, like, what is it, Mortal Kombat 11, I think it's around 16 or 18 gigabytes, which even then is like, if you could get 16 to 18 gigabytes on PlayStation and Xbox, that would be insanely small. And I just recently upgraded, because I'm sure they're going to make a new one. I haven't really been checking any updates. But if I were to guess, I'd say next year they probably are going to have a new Switch console out. Or at least a year or two from now. So I'm not going to get the OLED, because I swear, like, I almost was going to get it, and then I knew the next one would be right around the corner. So I'm going to hold off for now. But the one thing I did do was upgrade my memory. I think I currently have the 512 gigabyte one. Which on the Switch, you could basically have, like, every game. Like, pretty much every Nintendo game you could have on here, and you would still have some space left over. And frankly, I don't play every Nintendo game, so it's like, I have plenty of room. That's a non-issue. But the 256 gigabytes, that one did start to fill up. Like, it wasn't exactly... I was maybe, like, 20 gigabytes from filling it up. And I have, like, probably 30 or 40 games on that. So, now my capacity is, like, 80 to 100 games, which I'm not going to fill up. But I just wanted that extra little space because I didn't want to have to, like, start archiving games like I was doing. Like, I literally went back and re-downloaded all the games that I've ever bought just because I have the space for it now, and I still have a little bit of space left over. So, long story short, just stick with the 512 gigabyte one. That is more than enough space, and I am cruising through these people. Look at Funky, he's all happy about it. Oh, we got Luigi and Daisy doing their dance. Now, I know Mario and Peach aren't canonically together, but it always makes it seem like Luigi and Daisy are. Every time they're shown together, they're in, like, some kind of romantic pose. Meanwhile, Mario's just kind of like the knight of the kingdom. Even though in Odyssey, he was, like, trying to win her heart, and, like, him and Bowser were competing, and she was just like, screw the both of you. I don't want any of this. Which, again, going back to the way Nintendo just knocks it out of the park, Odyssey, incredibly fun. Pretty much, it's very difficult to find a game that Nintendo produces themselves that's like, wow, this is just straight garbage. Like, even if you don't like it, I would say, like, the biggest criticism I've had for any Nintendo game is just something was maybe bland. Like, which one was it? I think it was, like, Super Mario Brothers Wii U or something like that. Where it's like, it's not a bad game, but it's just the same levels that we've seen 100 times. So things like that can be a little bit like, eh. But even then, it's not like you play it and you're like, this is garbage, it's poorly made, laggy frame rate. It's like, they usually, there's a level of polish to Nintendo that is very hard to match. Now, the same cannot be said for Game Freak, unfortunately. But I will let it slide because Pokemon is a huge part of my childhood. But even then, it's like, I know a lot of people with, like, Legends of Arceus got a very good reception, but even then it had some, like, physical, you know, hardware problems. And then more exemplified by Scarlet and Violet, where it looks pretty bad at times, I'm not gonna lie. It gets pretty not good. But that's the thing, like, they're right around the corner to a new console. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the Switch, and they were a little bit too ambitious. So it's like, I'll give them credit that the world is huge, and it's nice to have like a legitimate open world Pokemon game. Because that is one thing that, granted, I would say the quality is technically better in the past for it being so kind of like curated, where, you know, the Kanto region, the Johto region, all that, they have specific paths you walk on, and there's like some little side paths you can go down, but definitely nothing compared to what started with Sword and Shield and then was exemplified in Scarlet and Violet, where it's like, oh, look at that, right at the end. You almost got me. I'm going on a streak here. Yeah, that is why I don't trash on them too much. Like, I'm not one of those channels that's like making exposed videos on Game Freak, like, this game is garbage and it broke records. It's like, well, yeah, it broke records because it's fun as hell. Like this, you can complain all you want about like texture pop in and, you know, frame rate drops at times. Like on the visual side, yes, it's not clearly the best that they've ever made, but you can't deny that it's fun. I mean, there's still people playing it to this day. The only gripe that I have with Pokemon, and that I pretty much have had forever, is that their timed exclusive stuff, I mean, it's pretty bad now in like most gaming in general, with like how Fortnite and all these other companies like do FOMO, where they're like, oh, this is going to be in the shop for a couple days and then it'll never be in there again. But it might be in there again, but you never know. Like companies that are pretty bad about that, I would say Game Freak is very, very high on that list. Just because, for instance, like, what was it? Shining Pearl? Yeah, Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, when those came out. If you didn't buy it in the first... Well, first of all, I think if you didn't pre-order the game and buy it in the first month, you didn't get the Manaphy Egg. So if you wanted the Manaphy Egg to, you know, do that whole quest line that you had to have, like, Pokemon Ranger to do back in the day, you literally had to buy the game in the first month, or you'll never get it. Like, I think I bought it when the Darkrai event was in the mystery shop, or no, mystery gift. But, so that means I missed out on the Manaphy Egg because I didn't play in the first month, and then I also missed out on the Shaman event because, again, I didn't buy it in like the first 2 or 3 months. So I did luckily get in for the Darkrai because he's like one of my favorite Pokemon ever. But that is one thing that has been pretty consistently a problem with the way that they do it. Where I know that's like some people have a different mindset, like in games like World of Warcraft, where, oh, if you didn't play, you know, 19 years ago, you'll just never get this mount, or something of that nature. Which, I get it, exclusivity can be cool, but when it's like cosmetic, it's kind of fine. Like if it's like, oh, well, this mount means that you played in the beta or something like that. Or like in Destiny 2, for instance, where I played in the beta for that, so I have a specific title, like an emblem. I have like a emblem that you can only get from the beta. Stuff like that is fine because it's just something you can point to and be like, hey, look at this. But imagine if it was like, oh, well, you know, I played this game when it came out, so I have access to an expansion you'll never be able to touch. It's like that kind of stuff is kind of insane. Which, speaking of Destiny, they also kind of do that now, because there's no feasible way to replay the Red War. That just, it's kind of over. Like, if you boot up a new game today, they skip you straight to this, like, New Light mission thing, where it just kind of, like, gives you a preview of all the stuff that happened before, and they're like, alright, here you go. Like, that kind of stuff I'm annoyed by. But they had size constraints, so it's like there was an actual legitimate reason, even if people were mad. But for things like Pokemon, I don't know, man. Just the fact that it's like, oh, well, you didn't buy it in the first month it came out, so the Manaphy event, you'll never be able to play. Or it's like the Shaman event, you'll never play that one either. Look at that. I actually won. I got the full 3 stars, which is very uncommon for these videos. But yeah, it's a little bit of annoyance. Like, for me, I don't have that FOMO aspect. For me, the opposite is what happens when people are like, oh, if you don't buy this now, you'll never have access to it. I'm like, well, great, I'm just not going to buy it then. Because I feel like you're trying to, like, force me into getting it early. Like the Spider-Man skin in Fortnite. I'm so annoyed that I'll never be able to get that. But it is what it is. I mean, you can still enjoy the game. You just won't have access to the entire Pokédex. Like, you'll never be able to catch Manaphy, Shaman, or Darkrai ever. And the only one you will get is Arceus, but only if you have Pokemon Legends Arceus and you beat the game and completed all the quests. And then you have the save data that will transfer that over. But if you do all of that, then yeah, you're good. Like, even if they did it like once a year. Like, let's say they had the Manaphy Egg, and then a year later or 2 years later they release the event again. That, I think, is fine. But the fact that they're just like, well, it happened once and it'll never happen again. It's not very fun. But anyway, that's the end of the video and the end of my rant. Hope you enjoyed it and agreed with me on all of my complaints. And I will see you in the next one, when we will be wrapping up the Mario Kart forever. No more videos after the next one.